Let's see how we disclose business income in ITR-4, whether for the old tax regime or for the new tax regime. However, viewers, please note ITR-4 can be chosen or filed only if you have a business income which is taxable under the Presumptive Taxation Scheme. In case there is no business income, then you won't be able to file ITR-4. So let's see the checklist of the details that we would need for filling up the business income in ITR-4, that is the Presumptive Taxation Scheme. The first thing we need is the total sales that was made during the financial year 2024-25, which was 60 lakhs. Sales received through bank transfers or account paid checks out of the above total sales is rupees 48,70,000. Sales received through cash or bearer checks out of the above 60 lakhs is 11,30,000. Now the next thing we would need is total profits. The total profits or the income made during the financial year 2024-25 out of the above sales is rupees 6,60,000. Viewers, a word of caution here. In case you are filing ITR-4 and your income is business income under the Presumptive Taxation Scheme, make sure that your total profits exceed 8% of the total sales. In our example, the total profits, that is 6,60,000, is greater than 8% of total sales. In case you don't show profits greater than 8%, then the tax audit may be applicable. So make sure that the total profits are 8% or more of the total sales. Now the next thing to be done is to bifurcate the total income into two parts. The entire 6,60,000 will have to be distributed between the two sales, that is the sales that were made through bank transfers, which was 48,70,000, and the sales that was made through cash, that is the collection of sales was made through cash. So this 6,60,000 has to be distributed among these two sales in their sales ratio. So this would be 48,70,000 divided by 60 lakh into 6,60,000, and the other one would be 11,30,000 divided by 60 lakhs into 6,60,000. And the profits are 5,35,700 for sales that were collected through bank transfers and rupees 1,24,300 for sales that was collected through cash. So the final step is distributing the entire total profits in between these two types of sales. Now let's move to the income tax return filing offline utility. Viewers, please note, I'll be using the income tax return offline utility to file the return. However, you can also use the online utility, that is, you can fill the details online as well instead of using the offline utility. But since it is more convenient for me to use an offline utility, I would be using that, and I have already downloaded it on my laptop. In case you don't know how to do it, we have a separate video for that. Do remember to have a look at that as well. The link to that video is mentioned in the comment section. So let me move to the income tax return filing offline utility, which is on my desktop already. Here it is. I will click. Click on File Return and choose either of the three options to pre-fill data. Now once you pre-fill the data, you arrive at this page. And the first thing to do while you arrive at this page is to fill up Part A of the general schedule, which contains the personal details of the taxpayer, such as name, address, contact details, and the bank account details. One more important thing that this schedule includes is the option to choose the old tax regime or the new tax regime. After you fill up this schedule, you need to move to the next schedule, that is the gross total income. Let's click on this. Under the income from business and profession schedule, click on edit. Now, it is not clearly mentioned in our example that whether the person for whom we are filing the return is a trader or is a professional. For the sake of ease of understanding, let's assume that the person is a trader and not a professional. In that case, we would be filling this schedule, presumptive income from business under section 44 AD. We click here, and then do you want to add more breakup values? On this we click add another. Say the name of the company, that is the name of the business, is XYZ company. We write it here, and then the business code. Since in my case it's a retailer, I would be choosing this code. You will have to choose it according to the nature of your business. Description, say it's a garments trader. I'll mention the description here and then save it. Again, I click on show details and move to the bottom. In this, in point E1, we see gross turnover or gross receipts. This is nothing but the total sales. Now let's look at the checklist. What is the total sales that was received through bank transfers? That was 48,70,000. So any amount that is received through bank transfers or through account paid check has to be mentioned here. So 48,70,000 would be mentioned here. And for sales that was collected in cash will be mentioned here, which was 11,30,000. The total comes to 60 lakhs. And now the income, presumptive income. Again, I'm reminding you here, the income to be shown here should be greater than 8% or 6%. To be on a safer side, make sure that the total income exceeds 8% of the total sales, so that you are not eligible for tax audit. In case the tax audit becomes applicable to you and you file this return by showing income lesser than 8%, your return might return back to you as a defective return. That is, you might receive a notice under section 139(9) and you will have to refile your return. Let's input the income that we had calculated. Income on sale which was received through bank transfers was 5,35,700, and in cash it was 1,24,300, which comes to 6,60,000. We save this. And then we confirm this. Here we go. It's 6,60,000. Now one more schedule is required to be filled. This is disclosure of exempt income. Click on this. In this tab, we need to fill the financial particulars of the business. Let's click on edit. In this section, there are a few mandatory fields that are required to be filled, and those are sundry creditors, inventory, sundry debtors, and cash in hand. In case you have all the other details as well, I would always recommend you to input all those details. But in case all the details are not available, then make sure that you at least input these 4 details. I repeat, sundry creditors, sundry debtors, cash in hand, and the inventory. These 4 details are compulsorily required to be filled. After filling this, you would save it. Since I do not have it in my example, I am not filling these details. Saved it, but make sure you fill in the details. The other very important part is filling the information regarding the turnover as per GST registrations. We click on this and then click on add another. If the trader is a GST registered trader, then make sure you mention his GST number and the total sales as per GSTN. In case the trader is not a GST trader, then you need not fill this section. In that case, you will just save it as it is. However, if he is a GST trader, make sure you fill in this detail. However, this detail has to be filled irrespective of whether he is a GST trader or not. This has to be filled by everyone. After filling all these details, now we click on confirm. So this is how you fill the business income schedule in ITR-4, where the trader has opted for the presumptive taxation scheme.